Tonight, we are diving into legendary films you can watch free on YouTube. No subscriptions, just great cinema. I will tell you what each movie is about, why critics still rave, and where its ratings sit today. Think fast, laughs, eerie chills, and era-defining craft. From Chaplin's heart to Hitchcock's suspense. Cue these up after the video. Your classic movie watch list is about to level up. Detour, 1945. If you like your noirs lean and mean, Detour is the pure stuff. 70 minutes of bad luck snowballing into worse choices. A piano player hitchhikes across America to reunite with his girlfriend, then stumbles into a death, a cover-up, and one of the all-time great femme fatales, Vera. The pace never lets you breathe, and the voiceover traps you inside his spiraling head. Critics have kept this one on a pedestal. It ranks among Rotten Tomatoes' top film noirs, with a tomato meter in the high 90s, and it was chosen for the U.S. National Film Registry as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. You can stream a full copy on YouTube from reputable classic film channels. The Kid, 1921. Charlie Chaplin's first feature blends slapstick with a big, beating heart. The tramp finds an abandoned baby, raises him as his own, and fights the world to keep that bond. You get window-smashing gags, tender pauses, and a reunion sequence that still squeezes tears a century later. Critics continue to rate it among Chaplin's finest. Check the strong tomatometer on Rotten Tomatoes and modern retrospectives that group it with City Lights and Modern Times for timeless praise. Several high-quality uploads of The Kid are legitimately available on YouTube via classic cinema channels, so it is easy to sample Chaplin's magic tonight. The Lady Vanishes, 1938. All aboard for pre-Hollywood Hitchcock at his lightest and most wickedly clever. A lively traveler meets an older woman on a train, the lady disappears, and suddenly everyone swears she never existed. What follows is witty banter, cloak and dagger reveals, and a runaway finale that shows how much suspense you can squeeze out of a cramped carriage. Critics still adore it. The film carries an excellent Rotten Tomatoes score and is regularly cited as one of Hitchcock's best British period thrillers. Better yet, there are full-length HD versions on YouTube from classic movie libraries, so you can press play right after this. His Girl Friday, 1940. If you want speed wit and two megastars going toe-to-toe, this is it. Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell play a divorced editor-reporter duo who treat a murder scoop like a rematch of their marriage. Rapid-fire comebacks, no dead air, and a newsroom that never sleeps. The charm is in the pace. Overlapping dialogue, snappy reversals, and a love story hiding inside a deadline. Critics have long called it the definitive screwball comedy, and it is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with write-ups praising the performances and crackling script. On IMDb, viewers also rate it strongly as a timeless crowd pleaser. Over the years, it keeps showing up on Best Comedy Roundups, which is why it is still recommended today. If you have never seen classic newsroom banter at full throttle start here, you will hear lines you will want to quote for days. Night of the Living Dead, 1968. This is the ground floor of modern zombie cinema. A group of strangers barricade themselves inside a farmhouse while the world outside falls apart, and every minute inside is as tense as the monsters outside. The shock is not just the undead. It is the social bite, the bleak ending, and a blacklead performance that flipped expectations in 1968. Critics consistently hail it as a genre landmark, and it remains certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Editorial roundups rank it among Romero's best and one of horror's essential touchstones. Audiences keep rating it highly on IMDb for its mood grit and big influence. It is studied, quoted, remastered, and re-released for a reason. This little independent film changed horror forever, and it still works on a Friday night watch with the lights off. Charade, 1963. Think of this as the most glamorous game of keep away in Paris. Audrey Hepburn's character is chased by men who want the money her late husband stole. Cary Grant is the charming maybe ally, maybe not. It is fizzy and suspenseful. One minute you are laughing, the next you are checking the shadows. Critics love its chemistry and finely tuned surprises. Certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. The consensus calls it a delightful romp with sparkling leads. IMDb users keep it highly rated too, thanks to that mix of romance, mystery, and comic timing. If you are craving a classy thriller that never feels dusty, This is the stylish caper to put on, sharp, playful, and endlessly rewatchable. The General, 1926, Buster Keaton turns a runaway locomotive into the greatest action comedy set piece of the silent era. The story is simple. A stoic engineer wants two things, his train and his girl, and the Civil War throws both into chaos. What follows is live-action choreography that still leaves filmmakers shaking their heads. Real trains, real bridges, real danger staged with mathematical precision and deadpan humor. Modern critics and historians rank it among cinema's high points. It places on the Sight and Sound list of the greatest films of all time, confirming its canon status. On Rotten Tomatoes, it stands as one of Keaton's most acclaimed, regularly featured in essential comedy collections. IMDb users continue to rate it strongly as a benchmark of practical stunt genius. If you have never watched a silent feature starred here, the laughs and jaw drops do not need words. Stagecoach, 1939. Climb aboard John Ford's stagecoach and meet a whole frontier's worth of humanity. An outlaw, a lady, a gambler, a drunk, a sheriff, crossing dangerous country with Apaches on the horizon and personal reckonings inside the carriage. It is a perfect ensemble western that launched John Wayne into true stardom and set the template for the genre's character-driven storytelling. Critics continue to rate it at the very top. It is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and often cited as Wayne's breakout classic. For historical standing, AFY's original Top 100 placed Stagecoach at number 63, prime evidence of its long-term acclaim. IMDb ratings remain strong, with viewers praising its pacing, cast, and desert vistas. If you are new to old westerns, this is the one that makes the case. Brisk, human, and hugely influential. The Little Shop of Horrors, 1960. Before the hit musical, there was this scrappy, sly, and surprisingly dark comedy about a shy flower shop clerk who grows a hungry plant and learns it wants more than water. Roger Corman shot it fast, filled it with wry jokes, and even gave a young Jack Nicholson a memorable bit. The film's cult reputation keeps growing. On Rotten Tomatoes, it holds a strong tomatometer and appears on curated 60s horror lists, celebrated for its audacious premise and midnight movie charm. IMDb audiences still rate it as a quirky, low-budget gem that birthed a phenomenon. If you like your horror with a wink and a man-eating plant with attitude, this one is lean, mean, and perfect for a fun group watch. Sherlock Jr., 1924. Buster Keaton again, but this time he literally steps into the movie screen. He plays a projectionist who dreams himself into a detective adventure, and the film answers with groundbreaking visual tricks, seamless in-camera illusions, daring stunts, and a meta-movie sequence that still gets applause. Critics celebrate its ingenuity. Rotten Tomatoes notes how it concentrates Keaton's brilliance into a tight burst of invention, another certified fresh favorite. IMDb viewers also rate it highly for pure craft and charm at a brisk runtime. If you have ever wondered how far silent-era filmmakers could push the medium, this is the show and tell. Sweet, clever, and way ahead of its time. Nosferatu, 1922. The original long shadow vampire. Count Orlok is not smooth. He is a nightmare sketch come to life, creeping through doorways and across walls, bringing plague and dread with him. The plot tracks a naive agent lured to Transylvania, a terrified wife back home, and a town slowly going cold. Critics often call this the starting pistol for screen horror. Time Out wrote that it is ground zero. The birth of horror cinema and modern retrospectives echo that verdict. It remains certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, with critics underlining its influence and atmosphere. IMDb users keep it highly rated as a timeless mood piece. If you are sampling silent film for scares, start here. The images are so strong, they still haunt a century later.